Hey everybody, welcome back. Please come on in, get comfortable, and get ready for another review. We are going to be reviewing BMF, Black Mafia Family. We are on season one. We are on episode three, and actually, I'm running a little behind in my reviews because I had a really busy work week. And episode four comes out tomorrow, so I wanted to hurry up and get this episode in before the new episode come out. But yes, please make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, please, and thank you very much. And as always, if you have anything to say about the show or the different characters or storylines, please make sure you put it in the comment section down below. Thank you. Now, the title of episode three was Love All, Trust Few. And I'm sure y'all done gathered where the episode was going by that title, or where that title was going by that episode. But yes, we finally get to see Snoop Dogg in action and his character on the show. At the beginning of the episode, Pastor Swift, aka Pastor Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Dizzle, the family's pastor, he had paid a house call to the Flurries to pray over their son Terry. But did y'all notice how their father Charles was paying close attention to how Pastor was squeezing his wife's hand? I was like, oh Lord, please don't tell me that the wife and the pastor are sleeping together. I don't think that's the case, but I was like, oh no, it can't be. But yeah, it was really obvious, and apparent from the husband from Charles that Pastor Swift might be too kind or too touchy with the ladies at the church, and who knows where else. But anywho, Pastor Swift, who was actually, looking like Pastor Pimp, was supposed to be praying for Terry in his eye or his vision. But he should have probably been praying for the Flurry's financial situation because they're still not able to keep up with their mortgage. Charles tried to work something out with the bank that didn't work out, and Meech he had already granted them a miracle per se why Pastor Pimp was up there preaching or, praying. But yeah, he had already granted them a miracle. And, I guess that depends on who's looking at it or which point of view because, his parents, they wouldn't call it quite a miracle. They think it's dirty money. They always refuse to accept his dirty money. But I mean, what do you do? What do you say when there's somebody there that can help you and put you back on your feet, put you back above water? It's kind of hard to refuse dirty money. But anyway, Lucille, the mother, she didn't even know. She didn't have any idea that the mortgage had been taken care of by their oldest son, Meech. But when she did find out, she knew better than to tell her husband, than to tell Charles, because he was going to flip the script like he did. But you know what? As far as her husband, him misdirecting his anger towards her instead of Meech, I really felt bad for her. He was going off cursing, gave her the key, told her, give me back the key, let him do whatever he want, run in and out the house. I mean, I felt really bad for her because she was like in a tight spot situation. She didn't know. And how do you go to the bank and say, could you give us our mortgage payment back? Because, we don't want to pay it. Somebody else paid it. We don't want them. Like, how do you do that? It wasn't her fault. So yeah, I felt really bad for her. But yeah, so that his family didn't get put out on the streets, Michi took care of it. But now that Charles is gone, do you think he'll return back to the house? After his dramatic exit, he was stomping around the house like a little kid, slamming doors, ran out the house. I'm out of here. But yeah, I'm not sure, what's to become of their marriage, but as far as their sons, Terry, when later hooking up with his brother Meech, he suggested that they start splitting their profits in half. Now, he did mention that before, and, he was out there, not really paying attention to his surroundings. He ended up getting shot, lost an eye, lost half of his vision. So he's like, you know what? Forget all this. I'm out here shedding my own blood in the streets. So I deserve to get half. And that's when, the producers, they also, this episode, they took us back again. They go back and forth with the past. And they took us back to the younger years when the brothers were fighting in the kitchen over food. Remind me of my little brothers when I was growing up. But yeah, Meech was being real greedy. He was eating up all the food. He done took all the hamburger, made him all these meatloaf sandwiches. and left everybody else with a little small little piece of hamburger in the refrigerator. So Terry, he was like, you gonna share half of that meatloaf sandwich with me, which Meach wasn't willing to do. So then they started, fighting. But Terry, yeah, he was trying to get up in his butt. But growing up together, they did everything together, from having each other's backs to getting in trouble together to even getting spankings together. You saw them side by side. The mom was just going back and forth, back and forth. That reminds me of my little brothers as well. But yeah, they get into everything together. So again, as far as Terry was concerned, if he's going to be out there getting shot and losing half of his vision, he deserves half of their earnings, which I think is rightfully so, especially being that they brothers and they so close. But yeah, that throwback scene that set us up for the deal. The brothers were going to make later on in the show. Just like, when they were kids, Terry again demanded that they split everything 50-50. But he also demanded that he be shown more respect than what he's been receiving from Meech. All the way down actually to the corner boys because he don't feel respected or that he's getting as much respect as he should be. He like, I'm a boss. I'm a king. You know what I'm saying? I'm running these streets. I deserve respect. I done got shot, lost one of my eyeballs. But yeah, but besides that, the brothers were behind on paying Pat back, for their last re-up. And even though Pat, he might be good on his threats, harming them would be bad for business because, they are the crew that makes most of the money that he receives. So therefore, Pat, he gave them a 6-day extension to pay up. If they didn't want any trouble, you got 6 days, pay me my money. So, not wanting any beef with Pat, Terry once again presented the idea of, them slinging down near the factory where they could possibly bring in more money. And at that time, Meech, he really didn't have a choice. They were strapped. They needed to get their hustle on, get their grind on, and where they was trying to sell wasn't nobody buying. And, they was pressed for money, pressed for time too. So he went ahead with the idea, and it did actually, sound like a good idea. But first, Meese decided to put B Mickey, down by the factories, just to see how much, if there was at all, how much of a demand for drugs it was in that area. Because just like any other business, legal or not, it's all about supply and demand. All about the supply and demand. And after hearing Meech, mention B Mickey, Terry was wondering why he didn't visit him at the Spitto. I almost didn't catch that. Of course, he was talking about the hospital, but I almost didn't catch that. And the other day on our Friday Night Live, the other YouTuber, Miss Sislo Newsworthy Updates, she's from D Town, from Detroit. So we was talking about this show and the real life, events, and also talking about what's his name, White Boy Rick. And that movie and everything, which some of the people associated with some of the people, you know what I mean? But she had mentioned how she loves how authentic this show is compared to other crime shows that are supposed to be about real life. So she was like, from the way they wear their hair, the little braids in the back, the little tail, the way they dress, the vehicles, the gold, the big bling, all that kind of stuff, the jewelry, the furs. She was like, I love the way they talk. She said they slang. She said it's so Detroit. So, here in Omaha, Nebraska, we got slang like anywhere else, but I ain't never heard nobody say spittle for hospital. So yeah, immediately thought about Miss Sislo Newsworthy Updates and follow her. Check her out on her channel. But yeah, so um, he was wondering why B Mickey didn't visit him at the hospital, but is it B Mickey that he or they really need to be concerned about? If y'all remember on the other episode, Pat, he had gave Meech a warning, or maybe we could call it a lesson. But what he said was, you got to do whatever it is that you got to do to protect your shit. Because the vultures and the wolves are coming, nigga. And that's what Pat told me. Boy, if they ain't coming and you don't know which one. I mean, I was like, do we have a mole in the midst of the 50 Boys crew? I could not believe that Kato was working with Lamar. I'm like, say it ain't so. I'm up here thinking that B Mickey was going to be the one that turned on Meech and his brother, and I still don't know for sure. Still don't know for sure. But even though it seemed as if, Kato might no longer have a choice with working with Lamar because that dude is grimy. And the way he was looking at her, he locked that door behind her in that bathroom. I don't think she want to cross him. So again, it didn't look like she no longer had a choice anyway. But evidently, this good faith deal was made before Kato even started working for the brothers, and that good faith deal is, in consideration that if Kato tells Lamar all the ins and out, all the details of the brothers' organization, if she can do that, then he promises that they both will get paid. Now, I know, as far as you probably know too, that the drug game can be a doggy dog world. And in saying that, I really hope that Kato is smart enough not to put all of her trust in Lamar, because I wouldn't trust that fool as far as I can. He talking about they both gonna come up, they both gonna get paid. I could see him right now murking her, as they say in the street, as soon as he get all the information that he need from her, because he can't leave no loose ends running around. You know what I'm saying? He killed the other two dudes and they didn't do nothing to him, and they was part of his crew. Okay, so her giving up all the information, all the tea on, the 50 boys. Mm, I don't know, y'all. Let me know how y'all feel about that. But that detective, the shady detective, Detective Bryant, he had lied to Detective Lopez about knowing J-Mo. Lopez is investigating J-Mo's murder right now, and Detective Bryant was looking at that picture like, I don't know him. I ain't never seen that man before. But he's supposed to know all the ins and outs of all the crews, in the surrounding area. So Lopez was looking at him, but you told me, Detective Brian, he don't want to get nowhere near that. He already know what's going on. He don't know quite what parts everybody is playing, who did what, who's laying down who. But he know there's a war that has started, okay? But yeah, Captain Ward, he also made an announcement of their new division head. Marceline Beckwith, from the Michigan State Police. She's been assigned as the new division head. So from now on, including the Flannery file, every one of their drug cases will now have to go through her. And along with Marceline Beckwith also comes the beginning of Drano, which is the downriver area narcotics operation. Besides Detective Bryant, the entire department is attempting to dismantle all of the drug organizations in the area. The Flannery brothers got wind of it though, thanks to Detective Bryant, tipping them off. He's like, I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just letting y'all know there's a new unit out there. And they like, wait a minute, you supposed to have her back. He said, I'm just giving you a tip. That's about all I can do right now. So we don't know if he's going to be able to help them in the future, to keep on, doing what they're doing now, slanging and banging and, all that stuff in the streets. But in the meantime, in the between time, the 50 boys have found a big demand for their product and a lot of new customers over by the factory almost immediately, with the use of Fonzo's food truck, business was booming once again. And then, you know what? It always amazes me how quickly entrepreneurs will risk their livelihood to allow drug dealers to run their drugs through their business. For Fonzo, though, getting Meeks to pay for his $500 food truck permit. He really needed that food truck permit. He was the only one parked outside of the gate, outside of the parking lot of the factory, while the other food trucks was parked close to the factory. So, meeting him offered, to get him his truck permit. Then, plus being offered all that money on a weekly basis. That was a really good deal to him. That was such a good deal to Fonzo that even that apology that he first wanted from Terry was no longer needed. Terry was like, F you. He put that stack of money in his hand and said, F you. I ain't apologize for shit. And turned around and walked out of that truck. But by the end of the episode, business for the brothers was running pretty smooth again. They were able to pay off Pat, who Meeks had caught getting high on his own supply. And we know that is definitely not a good look, nor good for your business to be getting high. Come on now, Rule number one in the drug game: never get high off of your own supply. But what's next? What's next? J Mo and Female is they're now out of the way, thanks to D Mickey killing J Mo and Lamar, basically beating Female to like within an inch of his life. He must have dog walked and monkey stopped that boy something terrible. Then threw him in a dumpster. I just knew he was dead. I just knew he was dead. But that leaves basically Lamar able to put his crew back to where it once was, before he got locked up. So does that also mean that the 50 Boys has got to relocate from their area around, near 12th Street? And if that is the case, neither Meech nor Terry are even sure that J-Mo was the one that shot Terry. And Terry, I think he really has a hunch that Lamar could have, been behind the shooting. Been behind his shooting, that left him with one eye, and also been behind, Female getting beat up and put in and landing in the hospital. Then Lamar, we saw him show up at the hospital and threaten to finish him off like, Female, please leave town. Just skip town because that Lamar, man, I thought he was gonna kill him for sure up in that hospital. I just knew he was about to start pulling out the plugs and smother him with the pillow, but he did enough. He put that boy in pain. Well, he's already in pain, but he didn't help squeezing all on his face and on his jaw and everything and messing with his leg. But yeah, he didn't help. So for now, he probably will leave town. But what do y'all think? Do you think he'll leave town? Do you think he'll leave town and try to come back for some revenge? Or do you think he'll just be like, I ain't going nowhere. This my town. This my hood. This my life. You ain't running me off the streets. I don't know, but the way he was looking at Lamar, like basically with his eyes, just begging him, please, please, just let me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But yeah, and also Lamar, at least for right now, he seems to be back in good with Mo. Who, even though she told him last week that Zoe was not his daughter, I was like, in my best Maury voice, Mo told him, "You are not the father. You are not the father." And he still came back. I don't know if that's his daughter or not. I don't know if, women sometimes to get a brother back or get a man back, they sometimes do tell them this is not your child. And it might really be their child, but they just don't want nothing to do with them, or they trying to really hurt their feelings and make the man think that they stepped out on them. So for right now, I don't know if that's his daughter or not, but he still wants to be in a relationship with Mo, and he also wants to have a relationship with his daughter. So if that is his daughter, I'm really glad that he is trying to, have a relationship with his daughter. But other than that, I can't get him I can't say nothing else positive about that man. I do not like him. Okay. But yeah, despite that, hopefully Meech, he wasn't doing too much pillow talk with Mo either, because it already looks like what's her name? Kato is in cahoots with Lamar. Um but if Meech was doing some pillow talk, like too much pillow talk with Mo, you know what I'm saying. The last thing the Flannery brothers, I can never they name the brothers. The last thing they need is somebody else helping Lamar to try to infiltrate their organization. So y'all, again, let me know y'all thoughts on the different storyline, the different characters, anything that I talked about in the show, your thoughts on what might happen or what you think might happen. Please drop that in the comment section down below. And also, again, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, please, and thank you very much. Stay safe, be blessed. I will be back tomorrow because I still have to get caught up on Our Kind of People and Green. What am I say? I'm thinking of Greenleaf. Yeah, I still need to get caught up on Our Kind of People and our Queen Sugar. I'm behind on Queen Sugar, y'all, and I am missing me some Ralph Angel. aka Raw. But yeah, if y'all watch those shows, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna get up early in the morning. I'm trying to knock those reviews out the way back to back to back. But yeah, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Bye.